Hey, welcome to the Simple Man's Workshop. Today we are going to be installing an end cap kit on a laminate countertop. That's the piece that goes along the end that finishes the wood and makes it look pretty. We're going to use basic hand tools to do this. Some people have access to a trim router, but I'm going to show you how to do it with basic hand tools just in case that's the only tools you have access to. So let's get started. There are a lot of preform countertop manufacturers out there. This one is Harts & Kennedy. I know this video will apply to Harts & Kennedy, VTI, and a few others that have the same end cap kit set up as this. So on the screen right now are the tools you're going to need to complete this project. We're going to unpack the end cap kit. The instructions. These are the end caps themselves. Most kits come with a left and right hand in the end cap kit. It's pre-glued on the back, so all you have to do is hit it with a hot iron as you're putting it on, and it glues it to the end of the countertop. So that's your left and right hand end cap. Then you get what's called build-up strips. These build-up strips will fill in right here underneath, like that right there, to give us something good to glue to. So it comes with two of them because you'll have a left and right end if you're doing both ends of your top. Now this and this is some little fillers that if this was one that had the backsplash that come up, you would have to build up the back side of that on the back side. But since I'm showing you how to do a flat deck right now, we're not going to need these. Also in the kit is nails to be able to nail these build-up strips to the countertop. Okay, first thing we got to do is install the build-up strip. So what we'll do is we'll flip it over. We'll take the build-up strip, and what you have to do is you line it up to your edge, and this has to be as flush as possible to this outside edge because that's going to glue to this and to this when we put this build-up kit on. And the nails are here for that purpose. We're going to get one started right here. We're going to line it up, just like that right there. And then we're going to go down through here and do all of them the same way. All right, so now this is installed. It's flush. There may be a little bit of difference there, but I have a sanding block right here. And what I do with that is I actually will kind of clean it up a little bit. This is not necessarily required, but I do it because it gives a little bit more flushness to it. Make sure it's flush so everything's going to glue real good to it. We're going to prep to put the end cap on it. So I'm going to flip it over here. We're going to lay it right here, make sure it's nice and flat on the workbench. Then I'm going to take the end cap, which is pre-glued on the back. It's just got to be heated up. Now I'm going to hold it to the end of it. And right over here where this finger is, I'm going to make sure it's pretty well flushed up. Maybe a hair over so we can file the little bit off. And once I put it all in place and it's flush, or it's flush to the bottom, you'll see that there's quite a bit sticking out over the top. So we're going to have to trim that off with a pair of utility scissors. If we don't, we'll be doing a whole lot of filing to take that down. So what I'm going to do is make sure I hold it in place, and I'm going to mark it with a pencil all the way across here and all the way down and make sure I get a good mark. And then when I do that, I'm going to actually trim just to the outside of that mark to leave just a hair left, so when I glue it on, I'll file the difference off, and there won't be as much that we have to take off because we're taking it off with the utility trimmers. All right, so now I'm going to take my utility scissors to cut this end cap. And we're going to cut on the top side of the line, leave the line with the end cap so that that's what we'll file off after we glue it on. So what we'll do is get started. I'm going to just start trimming. This stuff will cut. It just takes a little bit of muscle to do it. But as you see, I left the line all the way down. I took the blue tape, I tore 4 pieces to get myself prepped so that when I put this end cap on, I'll have tape ready for myself. Here's the end cap that's been trimmed like we did a while ago. What we're going to do is we're going to flip it up and it's going to flush up from the bottom. Now, if I cut this correctly, I'll have you can see over here, I've got an overhang, and over here, I've got a slight overhang. And then underneath, we're going to flush it up. So I'm going to work on the left side first. So I'm going to put my finger right here in the middle, line up the left side, make sure that and that, all right. So I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to bring it around under that build-up strip that we put on earlier. So we're going to pull that tape around the build-up strip, then we're going to bring it around and push it across the top, and that's going to hold it in place. Now we're going to work on the right side the same way. So I'm going to take a piece right here. I'm going to put the tape on it like that. We're going to bring it across, pull up on it. I've got my overhang there. It's flush on the bottom there. Overhang there. This has got a little bit of overhang up top, which we'll trim off with the file later. So now I'm going to shift this a little bit and do the same thing right here in the center. I'm going to put the tape on, pull this around, and do the same thing over here. Get this one. I'm going to put the tape on. Oop, didn't want to stick. All right, pull it around. All right, so now it's held in place good. So now I'm going to warm the iron up and we're going to heat it up to get the end cap kit to glue onto the end of the countertop. So I've got the iron on the hottest setting. I've got a cool damp rag and a wood block. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this wood block in this cool damp rag like this right here. And I'm going to bring this around. It gives me a good surface. The purpose of this is when we take the iron and we heat this up, it liquefies the glue on the back side of that end cap. And that liquid glue bonds to the countertop. Well, we want to very quickly bring the temperature back down so it creates a really good bond. And by doing that, we rub this cool damp rag on it back and forth. And the block is there just so we don't burn our hands. So I've got the hot iron. And I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to heat up this center between these 2 pieces of tape. Try not to touch the tape because that tape, if I get on top of it, that adhesive might release onto it. It'll be tough to clean off. So I'm going to warm this up right here. And then as I do it, I'm going to pull this one back off. And I'm going to keep going this way. So we're going to run back and forth. Just keep doing this. Bringing that temperature up of that glue underneath it. And I'm going to pull this off. And then run it all the way to the end here. Keep doing it. And you can take a look at it and you can see how it's bonding and it's coming together good. It's bonding well. Now I'm going to come back this direction. I'm going to pull this tape off. And we're going to go this direction here. Let that heat warm up the glue behind it. And I will pull this one. Well, of course, I had a little difficulty there. There we go. And we're going to keep going all the way out on the end here. And we're going to run all the way back and forth now that we've got it warmed up all the way across. And as I stated, now when I pull this off really quickly, I'm going to grab that wood block with that cold damp cloth on it. And I am going to put it on here. And this is going to bring the temperature down really quickly on it. It's still pretty warm, but it has come down quite a bit. And then I can check and see how it's bonding down through here. Looks like it's bonding very well. This next segment will show me filing the countertop, the edge of the top. And it's actually about 10 minutes long, so I'm going to fast forward it. With that said, I want to let you know about a few things that are going on in the video. You will see me every now and then take my fingernail and do this. What I'm doing is seeing if my fingernail is catching or if I filed it far enough down in those spots that it's smooth. Also, you'll always see me moving in this direction towards the top. You'll never see me hit and pull backwards away because you can chip out the top. You're always going to move forward, and you can stop and run your fingernail every so often to see if you need to take more off or you're good. As you see, we have a little bit of a lip right here that we've got to file off. So I'm going to grab the coarse file, which is a little rougher and it takes a little bit more off quicker than the fine file does. I've got it to a point now, I've got to get the fine file. Fine file is a little finer, of course. It takes less material and it will make it look a lot cleaner and smoother. All right, so I've got it nice and flush, and I'll give you a good close-up look at it when I get it wiped down good. As you can see, it turned out really nice. That one little spot you see down there was a chip from before I even started installing the end cap kit. So it actually still turned out looking really good, even though that chip was there prior to putting the kit in. So we can take a look and go down through here. You can see how well it filed out. Everything looks really nice. At the back here, there was a little spot that also had a little chip, but it turned out looking nice because once you put your backsplash in, you'd never see that. But that's how an end cap kit is put on. So we got the end cap installed. Beautiful, nice and flush. What's next? Installation, right? Well, I've got a video coming up soon for installation, how to cut kitchen countertops, and other things. If you like what you saw, subscribe to the Simple Man's Workshop. Leave me a comment below. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate you watching.